Okay, guys, today is one more simple way to slice at this thing called attachment. Now, if you're like me trying to understand attachment, it gets quite confusing. Obviously, we know that attachment is basically the energy between people. It is the science of love. It is really rooted in the infant's relationship to their primary caregiver, that our primary caregiver is someone we've bonded with and that we can therefore attach. But attachment follows us and moves on into all of our relationships. So, as much as our primary caregiver relationships are vital and extremely important to our attachment strategies or styles, we also have different attachments with every single person that we have contact with. Whether that's a real close long-term relationship, a marriage, dating, our own children, although we call that bonding, significant relationships, colleagues. Sometimes we even feel how we're getting activated by people just at the grocery store and things like this. All relevant and all have to do with our own science of love. So we tend to break attachment into 3 or 4 categories depending on what you may have read. But quite simply, we're going to notice that when our attachment system is activated, so activation would mean that an event has occurred that has elicited inside of us our attachment need or longing, or an attachment fear. Something has occurred and I felt some of my attachment stuff get cued. I'm not really necessarily noticing it up here, but something's just happened. And so the attachment strategy will be rooted in either moving toward relationship, moving toward attachment, or moving away from relationship or away from attachment. Now, this is what gets us into a lot of trouble, because if one person is feeling activated, so they're moving toward attachment, another person is triggered or feeling it, so they move away from attachment, that's where conflict can really build up. That's where conflict can just happen. Let's be honest. Now, sometimes we have a complex reaction. Complex would mean that we're kind of pushing and pulling. Sometimes I move in, sometimes I move out, sometimes I move in and out, backwards, forwards, all these different things. This is confusing, and it's not 100% clear for any one person. All right, that's really important. Just because you're a mover outer doesn't mean you won't ever move in, and just because you're a mover inner doesn't mean you won't ever move out. I also think of different ways that we can understand the energy that is following our strategy. So a moving out strategy is usually some type of behavior to really calm down, deactivate my emotion. If I'm a mover outer, I'm better at self-regulating. So something's happening in the environment, I'm feeling distressed, I'm trying to pull away so that I can self-regulate. Whereas a mover inner is better at co-regulating. So something is happening, I'm feeling distressed, and I'm trying to move into relationship so that we can regulate together in this. So when you think of your own relationships and when attachment is activated, especially if you can see more clearly between you and some other person that one of you is the mover inner and one of you is the mover outer, that it just kind of makes sense. Because if I'm trying to get close and co-regulate so that we can soothe and move past this difficulty together, and another person is trying to move out and self-regulate so that they can find a way back to the relationship, that's where tension occurs. So what do we do with all of this? Well, number one, just paying attention to ourselves. In times of conflict, whether that's I've just felt activated on a drive, I'm feeling some anxiety, I'm feeling numb is overwhelming me, or anger, any uncomfortable emotion. There's a big something happening. I'm just going to start slowing down and noticing, okay, what is happening? What is the event that occurred? Getting a picture of what is occurring inside of me, some of the language or the different things that I might be saying to myself. And what do I really instinctually want to do? Am I trying to move into relationship here? Am I trying to move out of relationship here? Sounds simple, really confusing. But again, part of how we want to utilize the science of love, this attachment stuff, is to make sense of what's going on inside of each one of us and how that relates to our ability to self-regulate and our ability to co-regulate, because both of those things are really, really important, and we want to balance them as much as possible. Right, you guys, hope you find this one interesting and challenging. It's definitely a challenging topic.